I think it was certainly very important and it wasn't talked about enough. Our aim was to bring awareness to the issue, especially sort of in the political field. And I think we were successful in that aspect because in the last election, all three parties were pledging for a greener Gibraltar in their manifestos.
In November, the government published its climate change strategy. What are the main ideas that you've taken from it?
I think the climate emergency should be viewed based on how much action has been taken. And so far in the past 3 years since the initial strikes were held, not much has changed. There have been improvements which they're welcome with open arms. However, the big changes are yet to be seen. For example, there are no dedicated cycle paths in Gibraltar. There are still many issues with bunkering and the sewage plant as well. That has been sort of an idea for that has been drafted, but it hasn't been, even begun any plans to build it yet. So there's a lot of talk, but I feel like I'm saying the same thing as I was 3 years ago. There's a lot of talk, but we are still yet to see action.
With the COVID-19 pandemic becoming more manageable now, are you hoping that the government will be able to dedicate more resources to climate change, and perhaps we might see that action that you say has been lacking?
Yeah, well, the COVID pandemic obviously was extremely serious and it required a lot of attention and almost all the focus of the government. However, now that sort of restrictions are being eased, I really do hope that they can turn their attention to the other emergency, which has been ongoing for not only during the pandemic but even before then. So now that the attention can finally be shifted, hopefully we will begin to see the much needed change.
And if we don't see any action on behalf of the government, I know it's a busy time for you at school, but are you considering further school strikes?
I think recently we've been very careful with COVID restrictions. Obviously, we have been restricted in that aspect. I think now we're going to work on policies and sort of things a bit more behind the scenes. Like I said earlier, we were successful in the sense that the attention was brought to the subject. It is being talked about much more in politics now, which is very good to see. However, to make meaningful change, I think more needs to be done than calling for action. I think we need to start doing things ourselves.